Fabric Gems Boutique is a video podcast where we celebrate the art of quilting. Each episode will be packed with inspiring guests from every corner of the quilting world, sharing their best gems of knowledge, creativity, and passion. Whether you're a seasoned quilter or just getting started, there's something here for everyone to help you create your own gem. Discover the hidden gems of quilting. And now, get ready for Fabric Gems Boutique with your host, Chris O'Connor. Hi everyone, I am Chris O'Connor with Fabric Gems Boutique video podcast, your host, and I have a special guest today, Liz Beaty. I am so excited to have her here. We're going to be talking about the Handi Quilter Longarm machine because she has a small business that she's trying to grow, and we're going to teach, hopefully, some tips and tricks about Handi Quilter. And Liz's business is called Liz's Quilting Corner, and I am excited to have you here today, Liz.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So, many of you may or may not know about Handi Quilter, but it's one of the top machines out there that people use, especially in home. We happen to be in her home in her nice little sewing area, which you can't see. We're not going to show you because we know all sewing rooms aren't the most perfect, right?
Right. Exactly.
Because we have so many projects going on, right?
Just a few.
Yeah. So this one here, she put on display for us because she's getting ready to quilt that and send that off. And we have something up in the monitor there, but you can't really see it. But anyways, there's a design that she's going to be putting on this, and we won't be showing you that today, but there's some really cool stuff that you can do with Handi Quilter. So welcome, Liz. We're so excited you're here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So tell everybody where you're at, where you're from, or I mean, what you do, what you like. Why did you get into this? How long you've been doing it?
I've been long arming probably about 3 years. But I've been quilting for about 15 years, and my passion for long arming came from quilting. Just being able to finish off my design, like I quilted the top, I wanted to be able to say, you know, I did it from beginning to end. And so I really enjoy that part of the creative part of it, to be able to kind of like finish it off for somebody and be able to make it look even better than what it was before.
Mm-hmm. Now on Facebook, she does several short little videos. I've encouraged her to do that. Up close videos of when the machine is going. I'm telling you, it's mesmerizing. It's calming, and it's for me, it's really cool to watch. Do you find that other people like to watch that too?
I do. And even for myself, like when I'm watching other like people that I follow and stuff like that, it is very cool to kind of see how the whole process works and how it looks and at the end and everything.
Yeah. So Handi Quilter is one of the top brands, obviously. Mm-hmm. What size machine do you have?
I have the Amara 20, but I have the 12-foot frame, which will do a king size. And it works out perfect for me, for my space that I have, just because I do have somewhat limited space, but it does work well.
She's got a big room up here, let's just say. So you can't see the whole machine, but there's a whole bunch of space around us. So she's not crammed in here like you think she is.
I know, right?
She's got her stations at every corner, and I think every quilting person does, any sewing person does, right? You have your stations where you're going to be doing things, but this definitely fits really nicely up here, and you still have room to maneuver, cut, whatever you need to do.
Oh, so, for sure.
What are the kind of projects you really like to work on in the quilting, like, you know, in the quilting realm? I know you do a lot for the guilds. Tell us more about what you do for the guild.
I do help with the long arming for the guild. We do the quilts of valor and ones for donation quilts that we do for the Better Women's Shelter, and for some of the hospitals for cancer patients and stuff like that. So the women at the guild, a lot of them donate the quilt tops, and then they put it all together. I do the long arming part, trim it all up, get it ready, and then someone else at the guild puts a binding on it.
Yeah, I'd give it away then too. I want to know in the comments, how many of you love to do the binding part? Can you tell I'm not raising my hand? I don't know why is it that people don't like doing the binding? Because it takes so long, or because it's by hand, or what?
Well, it kind of depends. If it's something that you can do, like wall hangings and table runners and stuff like that, you can do it on the machine, and it does go fairly quickly. Now the quilt, if it's going to be a really used quilt, it's really best to do it on the machine, just because it does hold up a lot better. But if it's going to be like a show quilt, and you can sew one side, but you kind of got to hand sew the other.
Gotcha. And so what kind of, do you have name brand like quilts? Like there's Judy Niemeyer and, so many other names. Are there specific ones that you like to do yourself?
I'm not like stuck to any one deal. I'm pretty open. Lori Holt, I like a lot of her stuff, and I'm working on the farm one, which has all the squares. That's really tested me because it had a lot of little bitty pieces. But overall, yeah, I don't have any one. Let's see, I'm trying to think of the one I'm doing the nativity scene for.
Oh, how cool.
It's fun, but I don't remember.
That's okay. That's all right. I don't remember everything either. But okay, so if somebody were to need your services, like they wanted to get, obviously you said this goes to king size, right?
Yes.
So what is the smallest that you can do?
Oh, down to placemat size. I mean, really anything.
Do you mind if I just show this?
Oh, no.
Okay. So when I say, oh, it's hooked. It's hooked. Okay. So when I say she does all kinds of things, she's been working on this shirt. And she showed it to me today, and I thought this was the cutest thing to have on the back of her shirt. And not only did she sew it all together, but she quilted it on her machine. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a big size quilt, right?
No, that's true.
That's what's so fun about having a Handi Quilter.
Yeah.
So if somebody needed something done, what are your steps, or what do you recommend, or how do they get it to you? Like, what is the process of somebody bringing their quilt top? Do they bring the batting? What, you tell me.
Okay, they bring the quilt top and the back if they want a specific black back. I can supply the back, but at a charge. And then some people bring their batting if they like specific batting, but I do have batting here that I can also do. Then we fill out a form when you come in, and we just kind of go through the process of the size, if they want edge to edge, if they want it trimmed, if they want it binded, and all that. And then we set up a date to pick up and go from there.
Okay, so I'm going to go back a little bit. So let's say I'm brand new, which I am. Okay, so if I bring a quilt over here, and I don't have batting, you have batting that you can put underneath it. What kind of batting do you use?
I can get pretty much any of it. Bamboo, the 80-20. Trying to think, there is 100% cotton, which are, if you're going to use the quilt a lot, the 100% cotton doesn't hold up as well. Wool. We can do wool, which is a little bit more loftier, thicker batting, but pretty much anything that you want to have.
Okay, so then the next thing you said, whether you want it to be trimmed, what was the first thing?
Trimmed and the binding done.
Okay, so when you say trimmed, what does that mean?
That means cleaning up the edges to where it makes everything very even, to where it squares it off. And if you want that part of it done, that way I can go ahead and get that ready, so that if you're doing your own binding, it's already ready to go.
Okay. So it makes it really easy for us to, bring it here and know you just have to understand what it is that you want, especially when you're new. You old timers, you all know how that process goes. I shouldn't say old timers, but because I'm one of those old timers. But it is a little bit daunting because you've worked really hard on the top of your quilt, and
Exactly.
handing it off to somebody is a little bit scary because you never know. I mean, things can happen or stuff happens, and you don't want that stuff to happen. And so tell me, tell me more about Handi Quilter. Why did you choose Handi Quilter? I know there's a bunch of zillions of designs in there. What's the benefit of having a Handi Quilter? Even if you were to get like this 5-foot, what do you call that?
Studio frame,
Yeah,
the
whatever.
little small one.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I went with Handi Quilter is that it was really important to me to have education for the machine available locally to me. I felt like that they were very well presented here to where I could go to the place where I bought it, and then I could go there for classes. Or if I got in a bind and something happened, I could call them and they would work me through it, which they did quite a few times. But
It's like anything. When it's brand new, you just don't know all the little tips and tricks, right?
Right.
Once you learn them, you're an expert.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, been there, done that. So, but it was really important for me to have a backup for what I was buying.
Mm-hmm.
And I really felt like that Handi Quilter did a really good job of having someone available in the area to be able to back me up if I needed it.
Yeah, and I think that's important too. I mean, if you're thinking about, it doesn't matter if it's Handi Quilter, Bernina, or whatever, you want to make sure that you have somebody local.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Not only local, but somebody who will answer the phone and answer your questions.
Exactly.
Right? Or text message or email. Okay. Every business does it a little bit different, but it more than anything, because usually, I don't know about you, but if I'm sewing, it's probably late at night.
Exactly.
Not during the day hours, like during business hours, and not that you pick up the phone and do it right at that moment, but you kind of want to, because you're like, oh, no, I gotta wait till tomorrow, blah blah blah, right?
Exactly.
So the advice really is making sure that you have somebody as local as possible. Now, I realize a lot of you may live out in remote areas, but at least if it's a phone call away.
Oh, yeah. And Handi Quilter themselves, the few times that I've had to call into Handi Quilter, they've been really good to like get me to someone and either send me instructions on how to do it or walk me through it while I was on the phone.
That's awesome.
And they did a great job.
That's awesome. That's great. So what else do you like about Handi Quilter? I mean, what really lights your fire when you're playing with the machine? I call it playing. She's not really playing, but it kind of is.
I just like the way it works, especially with the Pro Stitcher on it, and being able to be very creative with the computer part of it, and using it with ruler work and everything to just bring it all together. It just really simplifies it to the point that I've found it very easy to work with.
And the satisfaction when it's done.
Oh yeah, when you get to pull it off the frame and you trim it up and as you're folding it up, it's kind of one of those things of like, this looks good.
I did that. And I would think personally, but this is just me, and maybe it is you too, but when the customer comes to pick up the quilt and they look at it and they're like, oh
yeah.
To me, that would give me chills. Like, yay, I did it right.
Oh, I know, because when they handed it off, it was just a flat piece of material that they quilted. But it's there's something about it once you get it on the machine and you do all the stuff and you pull it off, it's like voila.
Yeah, I mean, and she has actually in our emergency quilted something for me, because the person I use their their machine unfortunately went down and wasn't able to use it. But it turned out absolutely beautiful. And I was one of those, oh, I love it. I should probably put that picture on here.
Oh, that's true.
and show you what she did for me. And it was really great. Now, I tend to, and I don't know how many long arm people really enjoy this, but I'm a huge Shannon Cuddle fan, huge. And if you don't know me, I love Shannon Cuddle, and I love to put it on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we did that day. So Handi Quilter handles that.
Oh, wonderfully. I mean, and Cuddle and even the Shannon one or the regular Minky, the way it looks on the back is just amazing because it shows all the design just really very plain there, and it looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really good.
And the other cool thing is if it has a little bit of a nap and you don't really want it to show, you just take your little stiletto, or I use a toothbrush, but if I'm doing big areas, right? I mean, because a stiletto will take forever, but little toothbrush and go over all and then it basically hides it. You don't even know that it's there.
That's true. Very much.
Depending on, of course, your nap and how thick it is. But I just love using Shannon as a backing because I want them to use the quilts. Okay?
Oh, me too.
I want them to be used, loved, dragged in the mud, whatever, right?
Exactly.
Washed and washed and washed. And because when I was a little girl, I had a blankie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I don't know if you call it a quilt, but it was close to being a quilt. That was a long time ago, that I carried around, and I was devastated when my mother finally threw it away because I did drag it around. It just got worn, right? Yeah. But you want it to stay and carry on forever and ever and ever. So I think it's important that you, unless you're doing it for the show, right? I mean, because I do know people really, what do they do with those quilts? I'm always curious. What do they do with those quilts when are they just, do they ever display them other than at a show? Do they ever,
Like what is actually, I've thought that myself. I don't know.
Tell me what people do with their quilts when they win one. I know they submit them to a lot of quilt shows.
Right.
They get a lot of ribbons. But does that mean it gets folded up and put in a closet after it's done?
I know, with the ribbons attached. I know.
And some of them are so absolutely gorgeous.
I know, you'd hate for them to be put away.
How can you fold something and put it away, right?
Exactly.
I don't know. That's just me. So tell me more about quilting and how, if somebody were interested in going into the Handi quilting business, or even just getting one for themselves, what is some of your recommendations now that you've been using it for 3 years, right? There's some things that you probably could share, or tips with people that you could share using the machine.
Using the machine, and the nice part about it is Handi Quilter goes around a lot to like different areas, and they do truck shows where they'll bring in like a lot of machines to where you can go, and there's like beginner classes so that you can like test drive them and see how they work. Is it something you feel like that you can work with? I think they really do a really good job to be able to get your creative juices going to where you feel like that it's not as scary as it looks, because it is big.
It's very intimidating. I think it's intimidating, and maybe many of you out there think it's intimidating too, until you again, your sewing machine was intimidating too when you first got it, right?
Oh my gosh, the sewing machine nowadays, for sure.
These sewing machines that they have out there now are so big and have big tables and have thousands of stitches and this and that. And actually, you can quilt on a machine, not that I ever would.
Right.
But I know there's a lot of people out there who do and are, oh my gosh, extremely really good at it. But you were intimidated. It's kind of like our phones, okay? How many of you use everything feature in that phone?
I know, that's true. That's true. And the difference, I guess, between the Handi Quilter like this, because they do have a stationary one, which the stationary ones, you're moving the fabric around. And I tried that, and I like moving the machine around to make the design. And so that was more appealing to me rather than doing it with the machine.
So would they go on Handi Quilter's website, the main manufacturer, Handi Quilter, to find where these, you call them a truck show?
Right.
Where these truck shows are going?
Yes.
In order to learn about
I think you can go to their website and put in like your zip code and that type of thing. Or you can call them on their 800 number, and they'll help you try to find out when something's going to be coming in your area.
Well, that's good. That's good. I didn't realize that's what those truck shows meant.
Oh, yeah.
See, I learned something new. I learn something new all the time. I'm, as you remember, new at this. So I sell quilting fabric. I don't really quilt. I'm a wannabe, but I love my 3-yard quilts, and that's probably all that I'm going to. I say that a lot, but that's probably as far as I'm going to get. Well, it's the attention span thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have long attention spans like many of you out there that can work on a quilt for 2, 3, 5, 10 years. And I'm like, yeah, I'm out on that. If it isn't, if I can't do it in an afternoon or 2 days, I'm probably not going to do it.
Yeah. Every once in a while.
Never get back to it. No, that's just me and my personality.
And see, what do they call those? UFOs?
Yeah. Many of them. Many of them. So what else do you want people to know about you or your business, or what are you looking for, and how can you help people? Are you there to answer questions, or tell us more about what you're looking for, how to help?
Well, I want to help people finish off their quilts as they put so much work and love in them, so that you are able to, see it all the way through. Putting that binding on something that you put your love and sweat and tears into, and going through the designs and figuring it all out, so that, I don't know, it's just really satisfying. I've had a few customers that, their very first ones are usually for their grandkids a lot of times. And, they'll bring them, and, we get them all like done up, and it's just really fun to see them go, wow, I did that. And to be able to like hand it to them and feel that they really accomplished something. And it is very cool, and something that the person they're going to give it to is really going to cherish and love.
So, how many of you have the quilt tops made, folded in a drawer?
Yeah.
I mean, you're done with it. You just never got the batting and the backing and brought it to a quilter and said, hey, this is what I want done. So we encourage you to pull a couple of those out and go support your local long armors, because they're a small business too, and they need your business to come in and stitch it. Now, the interesting thing, I'm assuming it probably takes you a week maybe from time they drop it off till they get it, or
well, we usually kind of have a queue that we put it into. Once you bring it, we get everything all filled out, have it all ready, pick out the thread and different things like that of what you want. And usually turnaround is, depending on the queue at the time, but usually about 2 weeks to be able to like turn around and get it back to you once it's in there.
And that's actually pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Now I stood and watched, and my quilt was a lap size. What it was, yeah. So lap size quilt, and it takes about 4 hours, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I watched the whole process because I'm just curious, and I know I'm weird about like that. I like to watch the machines do their thing, and I liked watching her do her thing, and because this is what educates me in the quilting world, right?
Exactly.
Watching the experts do it their thing, and if something stops sewing or whatever, and just so many things that I learned that day. But it took about 4 hours.
Yeah.
So if that's just a lap size, I can imagine a king would probably take a couple of days, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because you want to make sure that you're not rushing it. The machine can only go so fast, so you kind of have to make sure that you've got everything ready and good to go.
Well, you want your stitches to be good on the top as well as on the bottom.
Oh yeah, you got to watch, kind of keep an eye on both just to make sure, because it may look good on top, but something, you never know, it could happen. But anytime mine takes off, I always try to make sure. And it's not one of those things you set it and leave it, because that's just not a good idea.
Let's just say I had a friend who did that once, and she learned the hard way.
Oh yeah.
And she will never leave the machine again. And she only left just to go to the bathroom and come back.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. So now she stays in her room, and even if her husband will bring her lunch, if it's lunchtime, and she does not take one step outside that room if that machine's going.
Exactly. That's why I ended up making a little sew-in area in here, because I have to be able to like keep an eye on everything. So if I'm working on something else, I try to always make sure that I'm here.
Because nothing worse than ripping all that out.
Yes, exactly.
Imagine the amount of time if you had to rip that all out.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, very brutal.
Brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know what else to ask you. Is there something that popped into your head about Handi Quilter, or, something you wanted to say? Is there one great little tip that you could give people about how to set things up that you've recently learned that was like, oh, a light bulb moment?
Just that, Handi Quilter has just been great for me. And the fact, depending on what room you have, you can do, mine's a 12-foot, but you can do 10 or 8-foot frames. This one is a 20-inch, but they also go, I think it's 24 and 28. I think 28 is the largest throat. The 20 has been great for me, but the 24 and 28 have a lot of great features too. But just find someone in your local area, go and find out where the truck shows are, and try it out, just see what you like, and gives you an opportunity to ask people that are there that are Handi Quilter employees that can pretty much answer any question you got, but they can fit you for what you need and what you would like to do.
Great. So with that being said, if you have any other questions, Liz, how do we reach you?
I do have a Facebook, which is Liz Quilting Corner. And then I do have an Instagram, which is Liz Quilting Corner also. Is it at Instagram?
I think so.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's at Liz's Quilting Corner.
Yeah, that's it. And I am a little bit technically challenged for Instagram and Facebook. But, and then also I have an email address at it's Liz Quilting Corner at gmail.com. LizQuilting Corner
at
gmail.com. Sorry.
And I'll put it up on the screen too.
Chris will take care of me. Thank
yes,
goodness.
yes. And you do have a website, don't you? Sort of.
Okay. It's not quite complete yet, so we won't do that.
We'll hold off on that. And do you have a number they could reach you at?
Yes, you could text me also at 214-532-1394. And texting is good. Email to messaging on either Facebook or Instagram, and I'll get back with you really quickly.
All right, there you have it. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to Liz at Liz's Quilting Corner. And with that being said, we will see you next time. I'm Chris O'Connor, your host at Fabric Gems Boutique Video Podcast. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new podcast. There's always something new to learn. See you next time.